right on top. This is related to the NCRT's decision. Remember, NCRT had decided to update its social science textbook when it comes to class 8, and it had triggered a massive political storm. The revised syllabus points to the act of brutality committed by Mughal rulers in India. The book introduces students to Delhi Sultanate and also Mughal rule and chronicles the life and times of some Mughal rulers. The class 8 textbook described Babur as brutal and ruthless conqueror who slaughtered entire population of cities. Akbar's reign has also been termed as a blend of brutality and also tolerance, and also this mentions how he ordered the massacre of 30,000 people, destroyed temples. Aurangzeb had been referred to as someone who destroyed temples and gurudwaras. Now, NCRT has added a disclaimer. They have stressed that no one today should be blamed for past events. What NCRT basically said, and I'm quoting, no one should be held responsible for past events. However, Congress and its allies are calling this BJP and RSS cheap attempt to rewrite the history. The BJP has hit back at the INDIA bloc, saying that students are now merely being informed about what actually happened during the Mughal regime.
ये तो उनका एजेंडा है और वो इतिहास बदलना चाहते हैं. इसको ये देश स्वीकार नहीं करेगा.
500 साल के पहले ये मुसलमानों ने क्या किया, यानी औरंगजेब ने क्या किया, वो आज क्या बोलने की बात है. यहाँ अभी लोगों को भड़काने का काम करना और बच्चों के ऊपर ये करना, गैर बातें उनके दिमाग में डालना, ये अल्टीमेटली इस देश के लिए अच्छा नहीं.
हम आरएसएस बीजेपी के लोगों से कहना चाहते हैं कि आप किताबें बदल सकते हो, इतिहास नहीं बदल सकते.
ये पूरा का पूरा जो निसाब है, ये एक खास मखसूस नजरिए के तहत किया गया है और वो नजरिया जो है भगवाधारी नजरिया है. नए सिरे से नया इतिहास रचना ये ठीक बात नहीं है और ये अन्याय है इतिहास के साथ.
Also, viewers, let's dive a little deeper into what the NCRT textbook have added as a part of their revised textbook and why this seems to have ruffled a few feathers in the opposition. Now, what does the NCRT textbook now say? What are the changes? First of all, it shows Akbar not as the great, Akbar not as the great, but as the brute. He ordered, according to the latest edition, ordered massacre of 30,000 civilians, which has been added in the books. And then, I'm just quoting again, from the book, it says, with bloodthirsty sword, erased kafirs. Also destroyed temples all over Hindustan and persecuted men into conformity with his faith. Now, this obviously has been added to the NCRT textbook, which has led to quite a furor. The textbook has also revised description of the jizya tax that was imposed by the Mughal rulers on their non-Muslim citizens during their rule. What exactly, does it say now? It basically says earlier the tax was on non-Muslims for protection. Now it caused public humiliation after it was changed. Obviously, this is just quoting the history books from NCRT. Incentive was given to convert to Islam back then, and also the changes. One, as you can see on the screen, the tax basically was on non-Muslims earlier. The idea was to protect them. Later, it was changed. Now, citing all these changes, the BJP has hit back all the opposition, and they have said that such changes are only meant to correct historical wrongs.
If we are telling the truth to our future generation, they should know about the history of this country, that how this country has been tortured at the hands of Mughals, what kind of atrocities were done, how forced conversions were done, how Islamic raiders, and Mughal being Islamic raider, raided this country and looted the wealth, how Britishers did that. What's the harm if we are telling the truth? The question is why it was not told for the last 70 years. This is the question.
And viewers, as temples flare on both sides of the political divide, what has the NCRT said? The NCRT, as we were telling you earlier, has issued a statement on the revision. They have clarified, they have said that students basically expected to acquire multidisciplinary perspective. That's why this was done. Facts basically have been presented based on well-known academic sources, note added to avoid any prejudice and also any misunderstanding. That's the caveat which has been added by the NCRT. So NCRT defending the revision. Tetri joining us on the phone line. Tetri, take us through exactly what the NCRT has had to say on this entire controversy.
Well, NCRT has to mention about this entire addition of the chapters is that the textbook attempts to provide, an idea about the geography, history and economic life and governance of the country. And also, in fact, it mentions about how students are expected to acquire broad multidisciplinary perspective to understand the past between 13th to mid-19th century. This is what the NCRT has to say. Hence, in fact, they also mention further that the various facts have been presented in a comprehensive manner to promote holistic learning. Remember that this is not for the first time that there has been a controversy as far as the addition or deletion of chapters in NCRT or CBSE or for that matter Delhi University syllabus is concerned. Earlier also there have been such kind of controversies, but at that point of time NCRT since then has been saying that for a holistic learning, for a comprehensive learning, such kind of addition or deletion of the subject is necessary. Now in fact they also mentioned that a note on history's darker period at page 20 has been added for the benefit of the learners, which summarizes the essence of the content presented in the book. And in fact, they also say that the entire book should be seen and appreciated from this perspective. So that's the clarification coming in from NCRT.
Okay, Tetri, thank you for joining us with all these details.